110.
Good evening, Vanguards, and welcome to today's VITREUS AMA. My name is Jaren, and I am the Director of Public Relations for VITREUS. Today, we'll be joined by our Chief Technology Officer, Tim Benedict, our Chief Marketing Officer, Baron, and our Director of Product Design, Taylor. Sorry, it's a little late. It's close to my bedtime. I'd like to welcome you all to VITREUS, the world's first AI-integrated blockchain designed for financial businesses. Not only will we provide our clients with our smart blockchain VITREUS, we will also provide the tools to help these businesses build products using Web3 technologies. Our target market accounts for $4.4 trillion and involves the entirety of the finance world, including the Florida-based registered investment advisory firm Collaborative Wealth that Chad Justice, our CEO of VITREUS, has owned and operated for 16 years. There are over 1 million businesses in the United States alone that can take advantage of VITREUS. So what does that mean for VITREUS coin holders? Using our staking portal, holders will be able to access 3% of our gross revenue, which, unlike profit, is the top level income for businesses, meaning we earn $1, the pool earns 3 cents. I'm going to take a step back and hand the mic over to Tim, who wants to explore some more of the technical aspects of VITREUS this evening. Take it away, Tim.
Thank you, Jaren. Good evening, Vanguards. Thank you for attending this AMA so late in the evening. It's a pleasure to be here in front of you. As the newest member of the team, I wanted to take some time this evening to introduce myself, reinforce some of the topics that we have reviewed over the last couple AMAs, and really get into what we're creating here. Not just from a technology perspective, but what we're going to be providing for the financial sector. You keep hearing things like a $4.4 trillion market and our differentiators as far as other technologies, AI operated and whatnot. And so tonight, I hope to really reinforce some of those terms and acronyms and our strategy and approach. So a little bit about myself. I am out of Indianapolis, Indiana. I have been in IT consulting for 15 years. I've been in technology for 20. I have spent the last 7 years of my career focusing on transformational exercises for Fortune 500 companies, public institutions, and I bring a wealth of knowledge on how to take those things to market. My role in this company as the CTO is to not only make sure that we hit our targets as far as development and bringing our technology to actually be used in the business world and in the consumer world, but also to be able to sell it and adapt it and scale it globally. So I'm very much looking forward to taking this journey with you all, and I appreciate you being a potential part of this opportunity. So with that, a couple of things about this team and why we are a bit different than maybe a typical project that you're used to. We're a fully doxed team. So we are creating a business model. This is a bit more than a project. This is going to be a longer journey into a multi-year plan. We intend on taking these innovations and transforming the market in the financial sector. So what we mean by financial sector is the things that you would interact with potentially on a daily basis. A bank, a credit union, a tax attorney, somewhere you get your taxes done. So these are not atypical institutions. These are folks that are heavily regulated. It's on a daily basis, they are dealing with private data, money. So, very high protected assets and technologies. And that really is where this opportunity comes from. Addressing these challenges is the key focus or the future state of where we're taking these technologies. And the way we're architecting and putting some of these pieces together might be a bit different. And that's really, I think, the exciting part of being a part of this team. So as we continue to explain, our entry into the seed round, as we continue to raise funds, and as Jaren stated in the beginning of her intro, We're also making sure that we're very transparent. We don't want to base our collective gains on profit. You've seen that a lot. That's another differentiator for us. And again, that's been very well articulated by our CEO, Chad Justice. But there is a responsible use of funds to ensure that we bring these very large projects and technologies into a way that can be consumed and democratized within the financial space. So with that, I'm going to get into a couple key concepts. Blockchain as a service is not something new. There have been several successful and well-known blockchain as a service companies that have come to market over the last 3 or 4 years. We are bringing what's called an enhanced blockchain as a service to market. We expect about a 5 to 20% market penetration. The technology itself is adolescent. The difference between a blockchain as a service and an enhanced blockchain as a service is it focuses more on the business needs than the general blockchain infrastructure deployment. Now, the underlying technology is certainly blockchain, but again, we are allowing our business clients to focus on the applications and products more than their infrastructure needs and other nuances. And it is much more simple to implement than an original blockchain as a service model. And that is, again, a very key differentiator as you take considerations into our initial C rounds. Our smart contracts and immutable distributed ledger technology is going to be built into the environment. Low no-code environments for ease of interaction as they take Web 2.0 technologies and look at replatforming and integrating into these systems, and really productized templates for rapid deployments. Emporium, Acquiesce offer all these types of added values. So this is a very large project, and it is a business model that we collectively will be doing together. And as the CTO of this company, it will be my role to ensure that the technologies, the architectures, the products, the security, and the sales teams are all in line, so that when we do go into the next year and we start talking to the disparate financial institutions, the code repositories and the shared applications and just the intelligence of the system itself are being built out, it can scale as needed on a emerging multinational perspective and eventually on an international perspective. Another aspect that I really want to touch on is we don't require the integration with others on the network, shared or private. We're designed to scale our network upwards directly with an onboard dedicated resource directly to an onboarded business. So when we're onboarding somebody, right, we have dedicated nodes for their transaction loads as opposed to needing to share bandwidth with others on the network. Again, these design considerations and innovations that we're bringing are meant to scale as folks adopt this technology. All of these onboarded nodes will scale upwards directly and become connected. It'll increase the security and speed as more companies come on board, because the system will learn and expand, not just from a compute infrastructure and networking and storage perspective, but also on the AI learning and just the scraping that we'll do to ensure that this system has the repositories that it needs. Permission blockchains also just gives us extra security. Most permission blockchains, you have to be a very trustworthy entity. As I mentioned, some of the ways that we are showing trust going into a seed round is we're fully doxed. We're very transparent with how we are going to pay out based on revenue. Again, that is 3 cents for every dollar. It goes into the staking pool. The governance models that we're putting together are catered to the industry's needs very specifically. So we are not trying to be everything to everyone. We are very, very focused on a very large market. $4 trillion is not a VITREUS term. We can cite these sources and pull them from places like Gartner, who is a very well-known analyst company that serves companies from an IT guidance perspective, as well as others like Forrester. And some of these numbers don't even really account the total technology stack, including artificial intelligence. And this is mostly around the Web3 numbers, blockchain, and the different distributed apps, NFTs, and such that you're all very familiar with. Another really big differentiator as we take this to market is there's a lot of confusion on how to use blockchain. There's a lot of stories out there. How would you benefit from it? And again, blockchain itself is a technology, a very powerful technology, but in our solution stack, it is the underlying technology. We have a very clear and strong value proposition. We have compliance-centric assurance with artificial intelligence. We have immutable record keeping. We have digital data storage. And these are not small topics that these mid-sized financial institutions, again, banks, credit unions, investment firms, are going to be able to just come out and say, we're gonna outlay all this capital and start building out these systems. So we expect market adoption to be very quick, because this is not going to be a traditional information technology approach. If a credit union decided to take their systems into a cloud today, there would be a large migration. They would have to go through applications to make sure that they're suitable. They would have to decide what aspects of technology in the cloud would be the most suitable platform and mechanism for those applications. And an application could be anything from a web server, a financial system, even a communication platform. But even when it's in cloud, you still have to maintain it. You still have to run it. You still have to do all of the basic principles, because you're not changing the fundamental nature of how these applications are being consumed. In our platform, the difference, even from a traditional cloud aspect, will be this is as a service. This is a technology as a service. They will be able to focus on building their apps, paying attention to their customers, looking at new lines of revenue, or maybe staying relevant with an application that just reconnects them to their user base. All of those things are where these institutions want to stay. But on the back end, just refocusing on the complexities of the market, looking at these digital disruptive technologies as a whole are difficult to deploy and architect. So we're really looking forward to having that control in a permissioned, connecting ledger in a centralized aspect. This is not akin to a centralized exchange, though. This is a type of centralized versus decentralized conversation. We are not using traditional centralized technologies either. We have been exploring technology partners who in their own spaces can provide the necessary infrastructure, compute, memory, storage, and networking that we would require as the chain itself grows and more applications are developed, and the rapid adoption of the data itself. And to reinforce that topic, we will be finishing our technology stacks on the software side and the hardware side, and they will be very specific to what we are building globally. We are not going to be using anything legacy. We will not be using anything that you can go to a traditional technology provider and procure. This is a highly customized, tailored, architected ecosystem, and we expect to be able to provide first-class service to our financial partners. In addition to that, we will be focusing very heavily on our own cybersecurity acumen. As you can imagine, a lot of folks are going to want to have access to the data that will be on our platforms. So there will also be a world-class cybersecurity framework and architecture that we will be making sure that we're able to be not only self-compliant, but provide that compliance across the different complexities of not just regulation and legislation, but also data privacy, in-country data privacy, in-state data privacy. All those demarcations and challenges will be built into this system as well. So I think that, moving into the seed round, I would encourage all of you to ask questions, ask for points of clarification. A lot of this is in the white paper, albeit it's a very large document. I'd be happy to provide other answers around these approaches and ensuring that the roadmaps around the development and the technology stacks are, where they're going to be. I'm looking forward to building this out. I'm honored to be here, and I haven't been this excited in a long time. So with that, I will pass it over to Mr. Taylor for a bit more technical approach, and then we'll open it up for some questions, hopefully, that we can answer here today.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening. Tim, thank you for that overview there. We haven't talked too much about our technical aspects yet, and honestly, we can't say much. We have several patent pending technologies or technologies we're seeking patents on that we've come up with for this, for Vitreus itself. Vitreus itself, as Tim mentioned, is a permissioned blockchain, which isn't something that most of you are probably familiar with. Like he said, Ethereum is permissionless. Binance Smart Chain is permissionless. That means anybody at all could come in and start building right on this application or right on this platform. Vitreus will not let you do that, which keeps the companies, our onboarded businesses safe. And we can't have actors with unknown intentions just coming in and trying anything against these businesses directly without knowing they're there. So that's part of why we call this permissioned, part of why we're using the permission state. And I'm glad Tim touched on the fact that this isn't a centralized exchange. This isn't a scenario where we are in custody of crypto. It's still your keys, your crypto, in our customer-facing platform. But this technology needs to be accessed, and it needs to be permissioned for the safety of all these businesses that we're catering to. The market size, $4.4 trillion for the finance market just in the United States. That's a lot of money. And the compliance and the regulation scenarios around this are very strict. As you know, we've talked about, it's been mentioned, our compliance engine, Comply IQ, that we cannot talk about, but people are wondering how that works. And without telling you how it works, I'd like to make note that big banks spend 5% of their revenue on compliance efforts, just spending to make sure that they're complying with all the rules for the SEC and their other regulating bodies. So by presenting a scenario and a platform that not only is immutable record keeping, not only is tied to data storage, but is also incorporating an automated system that is designed to assist with complying to these rules, that creates a scenario where we are able to remove the human aspect for checking the, yeah, this is true. Yeah, we did this. Yeah, we did this. The monotonous task of the heavy burden of compliance. That's the gist of what Comply IQ is going to bring to the table. That alone has a value proposition. It's big. Aside from the distributed ledger, aside from the data storage, which are cherries on top, truthfully. Another thing you've heard Chad mention in the chat is our staking pool, which is 3% of gross revenue, and that's something that isn't in the space, and it's great. I mean, many of you may know reflection tokens and how maybe they've worked, or NFTs that generate other kind of coins in a kind of, or maybe even liquid staking. Now, offering gross revenue as an incentivized program on a business that's got this much potential is very interesting. There was a great video released today by someone called Crypto Control, who kind of helped outline exactly the broad, generalized aspects of some numbers that Chad threw out the other day on a Twitter space. And it shows that 3% actually could be a lot. And we're very excited to be able to share that system with you guys as we move forward here. Our white paper also states that Vitreous is 3 layers, which isn't really known in the blockchain space. You see a layer 3 solution and a layer 2 solution, but truthfully, after the immutable ledger layer 1, you get into zero knowledge rollups, and that's just scaling solutions or smart contract solutions, stuff like that. We're actually offering a different approach to this, which we will be able to communicate a little later on. Again, can't say too much, but there's a business ledger, and as Tim said, it's geared to directly scale. So if a company were to use a blockchain as a service partner, they would find a way to integrate your current solutions into a current blockchain, whether that's public or it's private. But you would go in and get meshed together with all these other companies. You don't necessarily have your own truthful infrastructure or dedicated devices that spool up and come online when you join. You either that company is providing nodes that you then rent off of. But our solution is very, very unique. And our monetization strategy on this is also very, very unique. And we're not just offering a ledger. We're not just offering a swap. We're not just offering a Web3 technology. We are offering a full stack solution for infrastructure, security, and product development that allows companies to come in and get moving using the latest technology in a very smooth and very clean way. It's designed to be interacted with 1 to 3 clicks for your daily activities, making it easy for an executive that maybe isn't technically savvy. RIA businesses, as Chad's mentioned before, are running on paper. So the old guy behind the desk might have a hard enough time using Microsoft Excel. So to throw in some screen heavy, click heavy scenario is not going to go well. So creating and implementing user experience solutions that are tried and true, using a sophisticated UI, using very keen solutions that scale down the complexity of everything that's behind the scenes. So somebody just needs to click, click, done. Click, click, done. Yes, it's an addition, but it's an addition that is simple and straightforward. And we feel that that's going to go to market very, very easily. Another thing you may have read in the white paper is Vitreous is gasless. And maybe everybody's excited because, yeah, we're going to have a coin and that coin secures the blockchain. And wait a minute, it's gasless. So what do I do with Vitreous? It's true that Ethereum as a coin and BNB as a coin is used for the transactions. But what happens if BNB was gasless? What does your BNB do? Well, in our current system, holding Vitreous allows you to benefit from the staking pool, which already factors in transactions that these companies make as part of our monetization. So in a way, it is gas. Another scenario that you could kind of draw some similarity to is Tron. Tron offers a bandwidth system, which equates to about 25 free transactions per day per wallet, in a sense. So that system works great. Now they work on overages, which is a bit different than us. But if you want some direct on-market similarity, that'd be the place to kind of comprehend where our gasless still works with our coin.
Another thing I'll add to that is we're giving you guys a glimpse into these technologies, and we're getting our intellectual property in alignment. Mm-hmm. A couple things around the AI engine itself is its ability to democratize data and in a curated fashion. Now, those are fancy words. Democratization being, freeing, bringing forth, curating being having meaningful data. To do that in a traditional standard, even if you have advanced systems, requires a lot of expertise, like a data scientist or a data model that you might have in the cloud. All these infrastructures are expensive, and data is very valuable. We've seen that in every aspect of this data explosion since the early 2000s, right? And the wonderful invention that was the internet that is now a collective mind across the world. But we're excited about the AI approach because it doesn't just, it's just not analytics. It's more than that. It is meaningful data that is very personal to the different folks inside of a company. And if you know anything about data itself, it means different things to different groups. HR, as an example, human resources won't look at data the same way that a chief information security officer would, or a CFO, especially as we see the CFO, more commonly go from a CPA to an MBA. And we saw a very large rise in 2020, 2021, and 2022 as CFOs transition into CEOs because of their ability to be cross-functional across the company. So going back to our approach and our value, as Taylor stated, these silo technologies, AI, blockchain, on their own are very, very powerful. But when they're delivered to a company with immediate value and they can use high value data across different viewpoints in the company, that is what really will make this a high adoption, a very differentiated approach. And that's what we're looking forward to building for you and with you as we continue to go through these seed rounds and VC fundraising efforts and hit the ground running to get this open up by early to mid next year in its full production environment. So with that, Jaren, do you want to open it up to some questions?
Yeah. Taylor, did you have anything else you wanted to add before we move to questions? Or Baron, did you have anything you wanted to cover?
I'd just like to add, these numbers that are being thrown around, we're just talking the US market right now. But when we apply for trademarks, etc., we already think ahead and apply in Europe, etc., too. And once our systems are in place, the adaptation to the regulations in another country or economic region is actually pretty simple. So there's no limit. Once we've got everything up and running, we can expand, and those numbers you've heard so far could become even more, I'd like to say,
Even more impressive.
More impressive, yeah. Yes. I'm sorry, it's 2 a.m. here, yeah.
I'm surprised you're awake. So
my brain is not functioning right.
You were gonna pass out on your keyboard. So
I mean,
let's go to questions.
Yeah, to Baron's point, we're giving you conservative numbers that we can actually state. And the U.S. alone represents a $4 trillion plus market. The European Union, the UK, and Ireland represent just as much. So we are constantly reinforcing this just based on, again, this is based on revenue. The more companies that use this, the higher the value. That really is a huge differentiator. And we're really excited about just the sheer scale of adoption that we have the potential to, in front of us when we execute on this thoughtfully.
Yeah. And what's important about this gross revenue point is, companies or projects in the crypto space often go by, okay, we'll give out a certain percentage of our profit, but you can manipulate profit in so many ways that the actual end user, you can't track it. And gross revenue, you can look up, we're a registered company, you can look into our financials, and it's just the most transparent way to reward the participants, the holders of the coin.
Agreed. Well said.
All right. Ooh, let me pull up questions. If you have questions, if you're in Discord, there is an AMA question channel. I dropped it in there. You can drop your questions in there. Or if you are in Facebook or on YouTube, you can drop it in the chat and we will get those answered. We did have some already. Let me get it down. Okay, so to clarify, that $4.4 trillion market number you said was the U.S. only, or was that worldwide?
Yeah.
U.S.
U.S. Okay, that question was for John, so that is just for the United States. This one is probably for Taylor. It's from Passive Income TV. What is the timeline for when people start staking to when we go from staking 1 to staking 2? This staking 1 is staking for coins. Staking 2 is where we would receive that 3% of gross revenue.
Yeah, so we set up our staking plan to build in a buffer for us to actually get online, get moving, and become revenue generating, which is that 12 to 18 months as specified in the white paper. A business that starts out even with a high valued product such as ours with venture capital products, it may take some time to generate clientele, to onboard, to ensure that we're penetrating the market like we want. So by providing the staking option in 2 phases, we hope to actually smoothly transition from that 12 to 18 month range right into offering revenue right off the hop. As soon as we switch to phase 2, that's when the revenue's hitting.
Well, and to add to that, we are not doing things, one stream at a time. We will be doing things in parallel. So we will be creating a sales model. More than likely, it will include resellers at scale. That will the reseller type. We're still determining what that would position as far as having the conversations, the engineering, migrations, into the system. But our target when we finish our development will be to already have an active sales pipeline where we have been going out and building out these sales databases, standing up our sales tools, if you will, our CRM and whatnot, and putting a lot of focus on sales and educations with these partners and technology providers. So that we've been focusing a lot on the technology, but there is a very large program that will be had around go-to-market, prospecting, building out pipeline, and then eventually leading into revenue realization. And the reason why that's so important is that's the business model for the growth of the company. And we're expecting, some networks and some consortiums from banks and credit unions and whatnot. And also don't forget our Collaborative Wealth sister company, which was started by our founders. They have a phenomenal network and ecosystem that we're very much going to be tapping into in the initial phases. In addition, we're going to be creating an advisory board while we develop these products with folks that will be early adopters that will provide us feedback on how we will be using these programs and pieces of software. So there's going to be a lot of that activity as well. And we are already partnering with very powerful firms that specialize in those areas as well.
Awesome. Okay. Our next question, comes from Drew. And it says, of all the products in the suite, are any of them using a good, better, best model, offering tiers of products for different pricing?
Yes, Drew. Our infrastructure, for example, offers a 4-tiered system with one of them including enterprise. So when you get past a certain size of business, you probably fall into the category of enterprise, and Tim can probably build on that. But we have some of our solutions do involve a scenario like that. Acquiesce and Emporium, they're a bit different as they're marketplaces, so they wouldn't necessarily cater to that. But for the business based on the infrastructure, we have structured packages that we will seek to offer. They will cater to a specific size of firm or transaction load from a firm, something along those lines. And then when a business is too large to fit in that bucket, it goes into the enterprise bucket. Tim, if you want to jump in on that.
Yeah, consumability is very important for our go-to-market strategy. We want it doesn't really even matter, or it's not predicated on the size of the company. It's really the usage that an organization wants to start with us. It can be a very simple single app, or just the use of just wanting to see what this enhanced blockchain as a service is about. We do expect different sales types, so use case driven sales, maybe a proof of value being a common topic, but the goal again would be to lock in a multi-year contract with the companies on the larger scale, because they will see that value again, and not having to constantly address a threat landscape every quarter. Just the curated data sets that I was speaking to, and just the ease of use and being able to focus on what they do, and that is providing financial services for their customers. These folks are not in the business of IT, they're in the business of finance.
Awesome. Okay. Let's see. Next question. This one comes from Jason Matthews. It says, which products do you currently think will be the biggest revenue generator, and why?
Well, I'm already on a commit. I like it. We're doing sales commits.
Hard questions.
Yeah. Taylor, I'll let you start that one as this is your world.
Sure. Well, Vitreous, the infrastructure itself, is obviously probably the number one likelihood to be a revenue generator. But if we're talking non-infrastructure based, Chad believes Advisor Retire is going to really pump. I agree with him short term, but as Emporium fills up with applications from development firms around the world, from software companies around the world, and financial institutions on board with us, we're positioning ourselves so that we're akin to the Google Play Store, wherein all Android devices get their applications from the Google Play Store. So that creates a situation where that's probably a lot of revenue potential. Tim?
Yeah, I think Advisor Retire is going to be a very large revenue stream. But as we've seen, when you have a collective across, in a marketplace, if you will, where these applications and ideas will foster adoption and just collaboration within the financial industry. One of the things I'm excited about is these institutions will benefit from each other. That's a self-growing community, if you will, within our client base. And as I said before, the infrastructure is meant to foster that. And what we're really building here is a business that helps innovate a company, will allow a company to innovate itself. So I really think that these applications are going to be what drives adoption. And then the underlying technology is what will attract them to stay, because it, like I said, it has so many benefits outside of just compliance, but just efficiencies and their ability to focus on what they do. So I would, if this is played back to me in 7 years, I would say I would Emporium as well. But maybe you know what? I'll make a bet with Chad. We can put that out to the community. He's Advisor Retire and I'm Emporium, and time will tell. How about that? But I appreciate the sales commit calls already before launch.
Okay. This question is for Taylor. Did you erase your whiteboards?
No, I actually turned my desk so I'm just like right against an all white closet. So unfortunately, my whiteboards aren't that big.
Can confirm
Yes.
still working on those.
Yes.
Okay, this question is from Frizz. With respect to holders receiving rewards, will their coins remain in their wallets? I believe this is in regards to staking. Do we have that lined out yet, or?
Yes. Simple answer is yes.
Yes, they will remain.
Yes.
All right. Let's see. Okay, this one is from John. You don't hear a lot about patents in the crypto space. What are the lifespans, and do you anticipate this to stop any prospect copycats?
Great question. We don't know yet. We are seeking expert advice from patent attorneys. We do expect that this will help us, deter folks that are just blatantly copying the ideas and approaches. And that's really kind of the combination. Is it's not just the technology stacks, but it's what we're putting together. So when I really like the interest around the IP, the intellectual property that we're putting together. And when we finish these applications and they're all solidified, I think it warrants a session alone just to tell everybody kind of what that looks like at a high level. It's a couple of years. It could be longer. I'm not a patent attorney, but I do know that these innovations are unique enough to seek the advice of a patent attorney and protect what we're building. And it also protects you all as well. It's not just the company that we're trying to protect. It's also our community as well and our holders.
Yeah. And
go ahead, Jaron.
Nope, go ahead.
Oh, so I had to do a bit of research while I was writing up some information for our lawyers regarding the patent on ComplyQ. 20 years is technically the protection period on the earliest filing. So the earlier we are able to provide the exact processes that is involved with our system to be filed with the government of the United States, we will have 20 years is the estimate for being secured or safe from direct copycats. That's not to say the process can be altered or created in a different method, but it does protect us from direct implementation copies, at least in the United States. That's, if you wanted a number of protection period, about 20 years, hopefully, which is a great monopoly if you can actually achieve 20 years of protection.
So, and even if it, say we put out an application for a patent and it is denied, that still gives us a chance to be first to market because it during that pending period, correct?
Well, yeah, other folks are going to have to try to figure this out, and I can assure you it's not going to be easy. So I think that
they don't have Taylor.
Yeah, right. They really don't. Lucky. I think the patents are the pragmatic way where you put legal precedence behind it. But we're also very much 2 years ahead of the market with a strong message already. We've had some venture capital firms reach out to us to gain some insights, and we will be having those meetings as well. So we're going to have competition. This is going to be an industry. There will be lots of folks who provide this wonderful products for other institutions, but we're going to get a very large slice of it, and we're going to be the best at it. And we're looking forward to taking it to market first and looking at everybody who tries to copy us.
Yeah, that was one of the questions I actually missed, but then you said it, and I was like, oh yeah, I did see that question. Was are we already working with venture capitalists? Are we already seeking venture capitalists?
Yes, we are. We're starting those conversations, actually, yes.
And that is for the software side, not for the coin side, correct?
Correct. That is for the business side, correct. That is to develop the products to be able to take them into the $4.4 trillion American market in the financial sectors, which is banks, credit unions and everyday folks that you guys see across your communities. So.
Yes, if you this is your first time maybe watching a Vitreous AMA, there are two sides of our company. So there's the parent company, Collaborative Digital, which is the software company, and then there is Vitreous, the blockchain. The coin in the capital raises for the coin are for the blockchain, and then the venture capitalists that we were speaking about, those are actually for the software side for Collaborative Digital. So while we are pursuing, raising funds on the blockchain side, then there will also be a part of our team looking for venture capitalists for the software side. So both things are getting built in tandem. Let's see. I think we only had one other question, and we're running at about 45 minutes, so that's okay. It says, it looks like Vitreous and all of its compliant tools could be created and used without a blockchain and a coin. Why bring this company into the crypto space versus traditional finance?
That is a great question.
Well, I don't think you can do it without a blockchain.
People are already doing that. I mean, I can put, like I stated earlier, taking an organization into a cloud or a platform as a service. Lots of folks are already doing that. This is blockchain itself as the underlying distributed ledger. This provides advantages that you don't get out of traditional storage centralized technologies, and that's not even a decentralized, centralized, kind of school of thought. A centralized technology being, I will have a single entity. I have a repository or a place where I'm storing this data that belongs in one place. It is very, very complicated to distribute that data in a way that, creates immutability, protects you against, folks will look at any of the housing market crashes, early 2000s. I mean, that was all, folks that were able to basically lie about what they were actually doing. The inherent nature of blockchain and its immutability and its ability to, have the hashed, encrypted blocks as they're added across smart contracts and whatnot. It simply does not exist in traditional technology. There are similar patterns around data and certainly, cloud native technologies. I mean, those innovations are certainly there. But as I said a couple AMAs ago, Amazon, Microsoft, Google are all doing layoffs to restructure and focus on AI and these other technologies. So you are seeing these large companies doing and structuring their new go-to-market patterns as much as we are. I mean, look at what Microsoft did with Bing. There's an AI engine backing Bing now. So we're going to see a lot more of this in different ways. But when I mentioned earlier around the enhanced blockchain as a service being an adolescent technology, it is about 2 years away from being what they call emerging mainstream. So people are going to be having these conversations. They're going to want to talk to folks who know how to do this, and that's what we're poised to do.
Okay. And I just got a message from Chad saying that was a really great question, and we're actually going to do one of our informational videos on that. So that was a great question. We had another one come in, and this might be for Taylor. Sorry, I was looking at one of the questions about purchasing and selling the token once we're live. What will that look like?
The Vitreous Coin Holder Experience app, a mobile app that right on your phone is designed to handle all things customer facing with Vitreous, from news to on-ramping to off-ramping to swapping, staking, etc. That will be in an app running based on our chain, and that's how you do it.
Okay.
But let's also mention that we're looking at ways to bridge this, so it'll be
of course
easy to trade, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that was very okay. Lovely comment. All right. We are running at about 50 minutes. Does anybody here have anything that they wanted to get out before we wrap up?
Let's mention our pre-sale again.
Yes. Yes. Important.
February 21st, we're looking to start at about 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I think. You will need to have at least $500 in USDC or ETH, plus additional ETH to cover for gas fees. Our maximum buy is 50K for the first 2 days of the pre-sale. We will lift this maximum limit on the third day of the pre-sale. And yeah, we can't wait to see how it's going to work out for us, right?
Yeah, I'm very excited to see how it plays out. Was there anything else, Taylor or Tim?
Yeah, I just want to reinforce today's message around what we're building, the fact that it's an enhanced blockchain as a service. We're focusing on the business needs to allow our clients to just focus on their applications and products and get that revenue stream going strong as we take this to market. So I appreciate you all having me today, and I look forward to having more conversations like this in the future.
Taylor?
Yeah, thanks for coming out, guys. Thanks for hearing about us. I can't wait to actually be able to talk about all the proprietary stuff when our documents go through, but everybody knows it's making me itch behind the scenes that I can't say anything. But yeah, thanks for coming out. Join us on the 21st. We hope to see you along for the ride.
Agreed. Thank you, Vanguards. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, and I'd like to make everyone aware we've got more AMAs coming up. I think we've got a big AMA with Whalecoin Talk tomorrow.
Yep.
We'll have another AMA with CoinMerge.io on Tuesday on our launch day. And we're looking to do another one on, I think, the 20th with Caesar's Calls. So keep an eye on our socials so you don't miss out on anything.
Okay. Yes, we do have a lot of communication trying to build our community over the next couple of days. So if you see those announcements go out on Twitter or in any of our socials, help us by sharing that out, helping to get the news out, sharing with your friends. That'd be really helpful, especially leading up into the seed round next week. So I want to thank everybody for coming today. I hope we got to everybody's questions. If you have additional questions, you can hop into our socials, Telegram, Discord. We have the team there. We have moderators, moderating staff there. They can answer your questions. If they don't have an answer, we can get it passed up, and someone from the team will, reach out and get that answered for you. This AMA is recorded, so you can play it back later if you miss something, you need more clarification, or you can share it with your friends or other members of the crypto community. We would really enjoy it if you did. So thank you guys for coming this evening. I know it's a little late. Y'all have a wonderful night, and we'll talk to you all soon. Bye, guys.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.